Okay, so today we are going to move forward in the iterations and also we learned already. So how you can uh, use your computer, your machine, or how you can tell the machine to do all the repetitive tasks and you can sit back and relax. Okay, so with this we are going to learn another loop which will also help us to do the same thing, but there is a unique thing in this for loop. Of course, there will be some difference. Okay, so we have two loops, for loop and while loop in Python, and they have their own specific domain or own specific use cases. Okay, so for loop will be used in some cases, while as uh, mm, otherwise. Otherwise, while loop will be used when there will be different cases. So we are going to see both the things when for will be used and when while will be used. But before that, let me just give you the idea about for is different loop. Okay, yes, you're right. So let me just for the people who are really new to this for loop and all. So let me just give you what exactly it is. Okay. So yeah. So let's go and let me give you. We are going to learn for loop. We are going to do some actual hands-on, which will help us to print the vowels from a sentence. And then this is something which I personally added. So we'll enroll some students in a class. Okay, so that will be quite interesting. That the new thing which I'm Google I found it on internet, and this is something which I designed. And then we are going to see what exactly the difference between for loop and while loop, why they are different, what is that one thing that separates them from each other. Okay, so then we are going to have our quiz, so for which Suraj was asking yesterday. We are going to have that quiz today because there is something which can be tricky. Okay, so this is the for loop, and for you can see the syntax, so it is really simple. So the for keyword will be there, and then we'll use a variable name, and then in is a keyword, and after that in we are going to give range. Range is again a keyword. So for in and range will be fixed. So variable name can be changed. You can give any name that you want, and in this after this range there are two parentheses. Inside that parenthesis we are going to write the range. Okay, so from which number to which number, or from let's suppose we took yesterday we took the example of printing 100 numbers, right? So that time we are just comparing if the number is greater than 100, then stop the loop, right? So but here you can specify the range, or you can specify the last number at the beginning. Okay, so those who are really aware about this for loop, so there is one thing which you might not know that I'm going to tell you about this for loop. Okay, so let's go and let's start my ID, and let's and inside this for loop, so as you know, the next statements will be printed using indentation. Okay, so with this let's start the actual coding, and my PyCharm is just starting. Give me a minute. Can anybody tell me, till the PyCharm is starting, can anybody tell me how many parameters that you can pass inside this range function? So range will be basically from the first number to the last number, right? So what is your first number you want? What is the last number? Yes, there will be three parameters. Suraj knows, Amey knows, and who else? Manoj knows. Okay, so now for the people who are saying two, so you guys haven't done all the work which is required from the Python's perspective. So don't worry, I'm here to help you out with that. We are going to do it now. Okay, so just give me a second till the time my PyCharm is starting up. Okay, I just need to share my PyCharm. Okay, is it visible? Yeah, it will be there. Okay, perfect. So it is just loading, it is just reopening files. So we need to wait for that time. And again, I need to create a new project for today's session. So it's day 10 day, right? So we are learning this from last 10 days. See, that's what I was telling you all the time. So always keep learning, keep adding new things, so which will help you out. So this is yesterday's code which we did. Vidita, you missed it. So I'll just record it again so that it will help. So there are a lot of people who are not able to attend because they have their some other schedule at this particular time. and some people do not have internet connection. There are a lot many issues. Let it be, let them give excuses, because after this corona lockdown time, so there will be no excuse. You can't give excuse that I didn't have time, that's why I didn't learn. Okay, so that excuse you can't give. You can give other excuses, but time excuse you can't give after this corona lockdown, because you have plenty of time right now. Okay, so that's what I wanted. Just make use of this time and let's build something out of this free time, and which will help you in the future. Okay, first start, second end, third increment. Increment, yes. I do not call it increment Ameya. I do not call it jumping either. I call it as step. So if you remember, so the time when we learned string formatting, okay, string slicing, that time we were using that array. I'll tell you with the example. By how much unit you can increase the third one. So whatever you want, you can give any number over there, any integer. Steps, yes, we call it steps. The third parameter, if you remember, so what we are doing by slicing the string, we were giving start point from where you want the end point, so end, and then we were giving the third parameter as a step, right? So that is what I called it, and I have read in multiple places. So it's step. So some people called it as increment, some people called it as jumping around. So it's the different names that people are giving. So it's same thing. So whatever Amey is saying, whatever Suraj is saying is absolutely right. But going forward, I'm going to call it as step. Okay, so it will be really simple for you to understand. Okay, I don't know why today this particular ID is taking a lot of time. Okay, so we are going to see two examples. So we are going to print vowels, and then we are going to fill classes, or you can say batches, whatever it may be, whatever sounds good to you. Okay, but before that, so the first program that we are going to do is, so we are going to print 100 numbers. Okay, the numbers till 100. Okay, so it is about to start. Who is there? PyCharm is tired. No, it is not tired. So you might be knowing, so I have a lot of work going on, so I just stopped the rest of the softwares. I just stopped VNC server, which is required for Raspberry Pi and all. So my system is tired, not PyCharm. PyCharm will not get tired ever, my system. So I had a call with one of the friends, so I wanted to increase my RAM, so it becomes really slow. Okay, so what I want is for loop. Okay, so this is just an example what I'm going to demonstrate you right now. So what I want is, the first thing I want is to print 100 numbers the same way we did already. The same thing we did with Raspberry Pi. With have you made any programs solely using Python? I have created a whole big application using Python that I'll tell you about. Not right now. This is not the right time to discuss. It will take a lot of time. Okay, so just focus right now. I did a lot of things, so you can't imagine. Did a lot of things. Okay, fine. So what we are going to do is, we are going to print 100 numbers using for loop. That's the same way we did in Python. So in order to learn the syntax. So for people who are really new to this particular thing, just focus over here. Okay, for. So I want a variable I. So I will be in range of. And now the people who are already aware, now tell me, if I wanted to print 100 numbers, what number should I give over here? Anybody who is in the chat box? 101. Yes. So the people, you're right. You're absolutely right. So I explained this concept why it is 101, because I wanted to print 100 numbers. It means I need to go up to 101, then only I'll be able to print 100. Okay, so that's up to what you have to mention in the range. Okay, so we covered this string while taking substring from a big string, right? So that time we learned this thing. If you want to print first 5 characters, then you have to give the index of next character, then only we will be able to print first 5 characters, right? So that's what the same logic we are going to use over here. If I is in range of 1 to 10, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply, I'm going to print this I. So it will very simple. It will give me, it will print the value of I for me. So it's just we round it off in a very short way. So we just use 2 lines. But if you remember yesterday when we did the same thing with while loop, we need to initialize a variable, then we were comparing, then we were incrementing, right? So the incrementing stuff has been taken care by this for loop. So in range function, so this particular function is itself, so you can call it. So why there is third thing? So I'll talk about the step which you can write by giving a comma over here. But let's not move to that right now. So let me just explain you what exactly this range is giving us. Okay. So just for the example, I'm typing over here. So it is nothing but a list. Okay. So it is nothing but a list, but it used to be a list in Python 2, but it is not in Python 3. It is the range itself. But if you just for understanding, just for the people who do not aware how exactly it is happening, how it is functioning in the backend. Okay, for you, I'm just giving you the simple iteration over here. So it is a list which consists of 1, 2, 3, ... 100. Okay, so it is nothing but a list, and what we are going to do is we are iterating through that list, and we are taking the number one after another out from this list, or you can say we are just printing each number one after another. That's it. So it is this range function is giving us a list of numbers between this particular range. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so this is a very simple and basic program that we did right now. So let's move towards the next big thing, that we want to print vowels. Okay, so I'm just editing it again. So suppose I have a string already. So S is my string, and S is my sentence, and suppose give me a sentence. So we are learning Python. Okay, so this is my string. Sorry. Okay, now from this string, I need to find out how many vowels I have. Okay, so this, see guys, focus right now over here. So this question to find vowels from a string has been asked in almost 3 or 4 interviews which I appeared for. So whenever there was a technical round, so or it was MCQ type of questions, so technical aptitude you can say. So that time I got this question of printing. There are favorite 2 questions actually, one with number, one with string. So for string, it is vowels is the favorite question of interviews. They will ask you find out the vowels from a string. So this will definitely gonna ask you. Okay, so just give your 100% focus. You have to put the vowels in the list. Yeah, I'll do it. Wait, hold on. I'll do it in different way. Don't worry. So I'm not going to put it on list. But I have certain different approaches, and that's what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, that is absolutely right, Suraj. Your thinking is absolutely correct. Okay, so I just want everybody's focus over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate over a string. Okay, so let's go and simply print each and every letter the way we printed this thing. Okay, so what I'm just going to replace this I, just to give a clear identification. I in, so here instead of this range I'm going to put yes. Okay, so this S is nothing but my string, and remember whatever data type that you are going to use in for loop, it should be iterable. Okay, so if it is not, we can't iterate over. So string is iterable variable. We can go and check each and every characters. Likewise, list was we can iterate list, we can iterate set. Okay, likewise we can do a lot of things. So just need to find out we just need to use the data type that is iterable. So if you go and use integer over here directly, that will not work. Okay, so we can't iterate integer. Okay, so here I'm just going to print all the letters directly, just to give you how you can print all the letters from a string. Okay, just running the code. See, it has printed everything, but if you check, so whenever there was a space also got printed. Okay, so if I decide to check if that letter in, so again, so remember this in is a membership operator. So this is my most favorite, and you have to, if you don't like it, you have to do something that you will be in love with this. What is this operator? So this operator is going to use whenever you are going to do any programming Python. So any big programming Python. So this in operator will be always there, always there. So just make sure you have good command over this in operator. So what I just did is letter in yes. Now I'm going to check that letter in my next string. Okay, so whether that letter is in A, I, O, U. So A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. So these are the vowels. I'm going to check it over here. So if that letter is present in this string, either it is A, E, I, O, U, then I'm going to print that vowel. Okay, so this letter will get printed. Okay, later. Okay, so this is a very pretty simple thing which I'm doing over here. Okay, let's go and let's see if we have any vowel in our string. So if we have one E, then we have another E, we have A over here as well, then we have O as well. So let's go and let's check how many vowels we have. Okay, so I'm just running the code. Okay, so if you check, so we have A, E 3 times, A 2 times, and we have I and A. Okay, we have I over here as well. But now I want the count. Okay, so count of the numbers. So how many vowels I have? So what we can do, which are not iterable. So integer, float, those are not iterable. That's it's only two variable, only two database data structures which we learned are not iterable. Okay, so what I want is I just want the count of vowels in the string. So I have a big string, so I just wanted to see what is the count of vowels. Okay, so the way Suraj suggested, we could have done this thing by taking the vowels in a list over here. L is equal to A, comma I, comma again like that. But again, I need to iterate the same thing, letter in that list. So instead of taking the list, I just use this optimistic approach, because initializing or using a string is much better than using a list. Okay, so that's why I chose to go with list again. Go with string, because it is going to give the result much faster. Okay, list or tuple or string or regex. Sorry. To iterate, yes, you can take anything. Regex, I'm not sure. Okay, so with this, we just what I want is right now, I want the count of vowels. How many vowels are there in this particular list? So what I just want answer from your side, what I should do over here, so which will give me a count. Yes, tell me. What should I do over here so that it will give me a count? Incrementing variable. Yes. So yes, but will it be a good practice to add a number into number multiple ways? Yes, there are multiple ways. So I'm just asking what you, if you are at my place, what, or this is your task right now, just suggest what you do. So you can suggest if you have used dictionary. No. So for this example, right now, this is the code I have, and now I want the count. So what should I write over here on the next line? Count of letter. No, count of letter will not work, because I haven't added it anywhere. Letter is just a letter. It is just a character. Yes, a plus 1 will work. Count. Yes, I can initialize a count earlier if I want. I can initialize a count, and that count I can add that count in the and I can print that count as well. Okay, so going with count is, I feel, the right strategy, because yeah, so going with the count will be right strategy, because I'm going to give you next task as well. So I'm just going initializing count. So here the way you are asking, uh, not Abhinan, Suraj. So you can initialize it none over here. Okay. So you are asking none. What is none? So instead of initializing it to 0, I can initialize it to none. And here I'm going to do is, okay, but then here you can't add 1 into it. Okay. Sorry, you can't do it over here. What I want to do is count is equal to count plus 1, right? So if it is none, you can't add 1 into that. Okay. None is means nothing. So it will, I need to take it 0. Okay, so I'm just printing the letter, I'm just incrementing the value, and at the end of the loop, so once I'm done, I'm going to print once it is out, if letter is not there in the list. So likewise, we are doing while loop was breaking, but in this case, if I print something outside this thing, so it will, let's check whether it is printing. Okay, so I'm just printing the count, and let's check whether it is giving me right output. Okay, so we got A, E, I, O, U multiple times, and what? How many times? It is 7. Okay, so I can do just like that. I'm just giving a nice way. So everyone, so if you check Abhinandan's output, so he's formatting it really well. Okay, so just learn how to play with the string. So since count is an integer, okay, it is showing me error. So I'm just typecasting. I'm doing a typecasting. I'm converting into string, so which will get concatenated with my output. Okay. So keeping spaces and keeping lines and all those things. So it will, yeah. So I have 7 count of, okay, count of vowels is this, right? Now here is the next task. I don't want me to stop only at vowels. I also want consonants. Okay, so we know the letters except vowels all are consonants, right? So we can see there are a couple of other letters in the string as well. But if I go and do like this, if else, it will be consonant, right? So if it is not a letter, if it is not a vowel, if it is not, the letter is not present in A, I, O, U, then it will be a consonant, right? So if I go and do it like this, can you clear the purpose of none after you are done? Yes, sure. Today we are going to do that. So yesterday I saw that question, but I was really busy in my other tasks, so I couldn't reply, or I just explain you, I guess it is for null or that, then I move away from the discussion. Okay, length of yes, count except the space. Yes, but how you can identify what you have to do to skip the space? Okay, so here we are going to learn a keyword today, so which will help us to skip that space for letter in yes. For letter in yes, no, that is not I'm asking. So I just want consonants, all the consonants. Fine, it's okay. So I just want all the consonants in my consonant count as well. So I'll initialize one more count over here, which will be my consonants count. Okay, so this is my initial, yeah, this is my variable consonant, and else if it is not vowel, I'm going to increase my consonant count. Okay, plus equals to 1. So if you check, let's go and print both the things. Okay, so vowels count will be this, and consonant count will be consonant count. Okay, yeah, but here as somebody not in AIO, yes, so yeah, you can use not in AIOU. That means it is an else condition, right, Amay? So if it is not there in here, it means it is going to go over here, right? So I want both. I don't want to limit myself to only vowels. I want vowels as well as consonant. So what I'm doing is, if it is not here, it means it will come here, and my consonant count should increase. As simple as that. Okay, is that clear? If anybody is having any doubt, okay, let me run this code and let's go and see. So I have vowels as 7, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and O is 7. Okay, then rest of the words should be consonant. Okay, let's count the consonant. So we have W1, then we have R2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I just have 11. Then how it comes 15? Okay, spaces. Yes, it has added spaces. And but what you should do to remove space? Yes, I just want my spaces to skip. But also while since I'm iterating first iteration, I'll get this W. On second iteration, I'll get this E. On third iteration, I'll get a space. So how to get rid of that space? Split? No, you can't split it over here, Abhinandan. Okay, you are saying split and merge this string, right? So yeah, so there that can be one approach. You join. Yeah, I need to split first, remove that space, and then join. Okay, what else? So I just want you guys to think. So I know I'm going to give you a solution which is from the concept of loops. But if you guys have learned a lot of things till now, okay, so I just go and check what all things that you can add. Give some pressure on your brain. Use your brain. So you can't use steep. You can't use. So you can use the one which he mentioned, the split, not split. I guess, yeah, you can use split by splitting the slice. Okay, so let me share. So you can go and try this with split as well. But here is one more way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check L if the space is not the count. Not use elif for space, not to count. Okay, yes. So I can use elif over here. Elif, sorry, letter equals to space. Okay. So this space is like this. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so okay guys, so what I just did is I just keep it over here, and now I'm going to do is I'm going to use, no, continue you can't use over here. That's what I wanted to tell you. I'm going to use, can anybody tell me what is the use of continue? What continue will do? Yes, anybody? What continue will do over here? Take the, yeah, it will take at the top. Yes, Nandan, you are absolutely right. But I don't want to. See, if I go on top again, so it will again go over here. It will start from the first letter. Okay. Again, it will start from first letter. I don't want to do that. I already traversed till this. Okay. So here I'm going to use the next operator. So next keyword, that is pass. I just wanted to, no, yeah, yes, you're right. But I just wanted to check if whether that letter is coming over here as well. So, okay, so let's go and check the continue first. Okay, I'm just going to continue, and it will not execute my this particular statement. Okay, so it will go above. No, it will not restart, but it will go on the first line. It will not execute the next things. Okay, so if I suppose, okay, so here I use the I guess it is fitting a right way, continue, because I don't want to add it into consonants. But in some cases, if I want to execute the next line as well, if I want to check if space is there, then I want to do some extra next stuff. So it is not executing this particular else thing, right? So for that, I need to look around. Okay, so I'll just give you quickly the difference between both the things. So that's what I wanted to give you. Yeah, it gave me the right count of 12. So if I use pass over here, but here continue will work. Yes, yes, here continue will work. Here continue will work because I don't want anything from the space. Okay, if space is there, just skip. I don't want to do anything, any addition or like that. But if you use pass, so it will go and check the next conditions as well. So again, we are getting the same count, but suppose if I wanted to check for if there is space, so I'm not understanding anything, or I'm not getting some extra example to demonstrate you, but I just wanted to demonstrate over here. So if you use continue, this will again break the loop. It will not execute this statement. It will directly go up here. If you use pass, so it will pass this loop and it will go and it will execute this. We'll check whether it is or if you have anything else written like here. Suppose it is not there, right? It is in the for. Okay. So if I have something over here, so let's suppose print that vowel. Okay, I'm just wanted to print it here. I'm not printing it there. Later. Okay, so let's just check the difference. What is happening when I'm using print and what is happening when I'm using continue. So I'm using pass right now. I'm running the code. So if you check, so since I use pass over here, I'm getting the spaces printed on the output line. Okay, so the count is there. But if instead of pass, if I use continue, I'm just right clicking and running the code again. So if I use continue, if you check carefully in the output, so we are not seeing any extra white space. Okay, it means whenever I'm getting a space, it has gone on the first line of the loop again and it has not executed the next step. It doesn't care what is next. If you add multiple lines over here, it will not get executed if you use continue. Okay, is that clear? Yes, perfect. Use a statement after if else inside the print plus 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 into 18. Okay, fine. So that is just for the separation, no issues. So the decoration part, you just go and do whatever you want, but it is printing. What? It is not printing white space. Yeah, it is printing. Yeah, you whatever you suggest is you're right, Suraj. Yeah, Abhishek, just tell me what you didn't understand. Why you're confused? I'm just unmuting you. Wait. What is happening? What you are not understanding? Yes. Abhishek, you can speak now.
सर वो कॉन्सोनेंट्स वाला पार्ट सर वो
Okay, consonants. What is in that?
सर वो कंटिन्यू वाला एंड एलिफ वाला सर पार्ट नहीं
Okay, one more time. Just focus. I'm explaining one more time. So I guess there will be a lot of people. Only Abhishek has asked, but I'm sure because our discussion between Vinandan, Suraj, and me, so a lot of people might got confused. So I'm explaining it again. Okay. So what I wanted to do is, we just printed uh, vowels. Okay, that is all clear. We just check whether vowel is there or not. We printed vowels. Then what I also wanted is I also wanted to print consonants. Okay, so what I just did is, so I know if it is not vowel, it will be definitely a consonant. Okay, but right now I was not aware about the white spaces. So initially what I did is I directly increase the count of consonant. Okay, so but we were getting white spaces as well when we were when if W is not in A E I O U, it will increase. Okay, but white space, this space is also not in A E I O U. It means it will again increase the consonant, but I don't want to do that. Okay, I want a right count of consonants, so that's why what I did, I used if elif, and in elif I'm just adding the condition like if letter is equal to a white space. Okay, so if it is so, then I don't want to do anything. Okay, so I'm just passing it so that it will go ahead and it will execute the rest of the stuff as well. Okay, so here what we are simply doing is, when a consonant will be there, a, I, O, U, it will increase this. When white space will be there, it will just pass. It will not go in else loop. It will go in else if loop. Okay. So it will, when white space will be there, it will come, the control of the program will come over here. Okay. And when it is a consonant, when it is not in A, I, O, U, it is not in white space, it will definitely go in else loop and it will increase our consonant. And that is what we wanted, right? Okay, have you understood right now? Okay, perfect, perfect. So let's move towards the next thing, and which is filling the batches. Okay, so here is a few next cool thing which I just delivered. I created just for you, and let me create a new file for this, and it will be a class. Okay, so what I wanted is, I'll just give you a brief idea what I'm talking about and all. Okay, so I wanted, suppose I have a list of you guys. So we have, I guess, how many people are there? We have 25 people are all are here. Okay, so if I want to split you guys into batches, so what I'll do, I'll check. So suppose I wanted to split by your name. Okay, so suppose the people who are having a name A in their name, they will be in one batch, and people who are not having A in their name will be in another batch. Okay, so for that I need to have all the names first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, or suppose let me make it more interacting. Okay, so let's use another data structure over here. Suppose I have a dictionary. Okay, students dictionary over here. So here I have student dictionary, and I have all the males in one. So in this dictionary I'm creating a list. Okay, so here we'll have few names, so which I'll type by seeing who all are there. Okay, so here are a few names, and this is my first element of the dictionary. And then we have, okay, so it should be in double quotes or single quote. So you know how list will declare list, right? So then we have females over here. Yeah, so here as well I'll be having a list inside a dictionary, and here we also will have few names. Okay, so I'll not be able to type all the names, so sorry for that. So I'll just take four example over here, who are the last ones. Okay, so we have Ame over here in the chat box. Okay, so for I in iterable colon. No. There is one more concept which I want to tell you. That's why I'm taking this example of list. It is key and value. I told you dictionaries are in a key and value pair. So you just need to know how to take all keys out from the dictionary and how to find the value of the key. Okay. So for that, I'm taking this example. Just focus. Okay. Okay. So we have first name Ameya, then we have Pallavi over here. Then, okay, who want to get added into list? Type in yes so that I can add you fast. So we have Suraj over here. Yeah, so we have Abhishek as well. Then we have Kalyani Tanya. And then we have Sam. Rajnikant, okay, fine. On Suraj. No, we missed our a good friend who is Abhinandan. So I would like to have Abhinandan instead of Rajnikant. Rajnikant is not attending my lecture. Sorry, man. So I would give preference to the people who are in my vicinity. Okay. So we have Sam at the end. Okay, perfect. So we have few people with us. So what I wanted you, I would not take A because A is which will be give me a letter which I can take, and based on that I can give me a letter. Just give me a letter which. Okay, let's take a Y. Actually, we have. Okay, I'll take a. So there is no with name with Z. Actually, we can't create two different teams. So that's why I'm taking name as Y. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to use this for loop. Okay. So in this I'm going to check whether I have what I wanted. So I want the key from this array. Okay. So I want all the keys first. Okay. So I'm going to check. So this is pretty simple way to identify all the keys. So right now I just took the example of only two categories. Okay. So there might be case where there will be n number of keys over here. Likewise, suppose if we have students dot keys. Yes. So this is the right approach to capture the key. Let's go and check by printing the way he is suggested. Okay. So it's students dot keys. Okay. So this will help us to print all the keys on the board. Where is my mouse? Yeah. So let me run this code. And here we go. Okay, it printed everything. Okay, dictionary keys, males and females. So I just wanted, okay, so what I wanted to do is I don't want this extra thing over here. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it in a for loop. What I want, I'm going to traverse it directly. For key in, see, this is an array, right? So this is the array we saw over here. So I can easily iterate over that array. So keys for key in student.keys. Yeah. So I'm going to iterate this array and I'm going to print the keys directly over here. Print key. Okay. So let's check. Now it will give me a nice view. I don't want this extra brackets and all. So I just want the keys. So let me comment this right now. And I'm running the code. Yeah, so if you see, I got the right keys, that only key names. Okay, I don't want to deal with rest of the stuff. I just want those things. So after key for K in student.key for KV in, yeah, so that is the next thing. Wait, Suraj. So let them understand what is this key and value, what is how to calculate key first, then how to capture value from that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is nested loops. I'm just trying to demonstrate you right now. Okay. So I wanted to play inside this key. So now suppose I have this key and I need to iterate to this particular list. Okay. So this list is again an iterable object. Okay. So I can iterate to this list, and now now as Suraj already mentioned over there. So if you want value from that particular key, so here is the way you can do it like this. For name in, so here we'll use another way. Okay, students of that key. Suppose from students I want, so I want only value right now. Print key and value. I don't want key right now. I want only value. That's why I'm using the another approach. So by using this, if you know the key previously, and in students dictionary, if you mention key, you will get value directly over here. So what here, this will give me this list and this list. So first time it will iterate to this and it will give me first list, second list. Okay. So I just wanted the names. I don't want to I don't want to print any list or the name of the key. I just want to iterate over value. So this is the simplest way to achieve our goal. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, now I got a name. Okay. So see what this first for loop is doing. It is iterating over the student's dictionary, and it is giving me first and then second. Okay. So we'll wait for here. Will not directly print the names, because I want every name from here. Okay. So in name here, use parentheses is giving me error. No, I don't think so. It will give me error. Let's check. So here, what I'm going to do is, if I want to check whether that letter, so we decided the Y letter, whether Y in name. Okay, Y should be in single quotes. It is a string. I'm checking whether it is there in my name. So if we have found a name with Y, then I am sure that it will be added into. So I'm just printing it right now. Then we'll add this name in further few next steps. So that will be our segregation. If Y is there, add it into another list, which will be batch 1. If Y is not there, add them into another list, which will be batch 2 list. Okay, with this, I'm running the code, and here we go. We just got, no, I didn't get error, Suraj. See, this is the right representation of finding the value from a dictionary. Okay, so if you know the key, what you can do is dictionary.key, it will give me the value of that key. Okay, so I just got this thing. It iterate everything. It checked this, so it found, and then it printed. Then it checked here, Y is not found. It is not printed. It here. Then we got Y over here. Then we got Y over here. So this is batch 1. Okay. So likewise, I'm going to print else as well. And in else, I'm just going to print rest of the names. Or I'll create a batch 2 array. We'll create it later on. Dot append name. Okay, so I haven't created this, so I need to create an empty list upstairs, because it will not work otherwise. And batch 1 as well. It will be again an empty list. Yeah. So here, instead of doing this, I'm going to print batch 1 dot append. So I'll have 2 different batches. Okay, right? So which will be batch 2. Okay. So now, after I added all the names here and the rest of names here, I'm going to come out from the loop. I don't want to stay in the loop. So if once my loop is over, the code will come on the next line, and here I'm going to print my 2 batches. Okay, so this will be batch 1, and then I'll be printing batch 2. So this is a simple way to understand. There we have covered 2 concepts. One is nested loops. So here, by using this, you can use. This will help you to understand how you can use loops inside the loop. Okay. Okay. Thank God you realize what you are doing, Suresh. Okay. So I'm running my code, and in my batch 1, so I got a name who are starting from Y, or who have the Y character inside that name, and the rest of the people are already segregated. So if you want to make another batch, so you will just go and give another condition like we did elif, right? So that way you can do it. Okay. So with this, I just wanted to clear the next concept, which is when you can use while and when you can use for. Okay. So just anybody. So what all you know about, so we just saw how you can use for loop, right? Yesterday we saw how you can use while loop. We did a lot of hands-on. We I gave you a lot of examples, like this is the way you can use for loop and this is the way you can use while loop. Now I want from your side, so what did you understand till now? So what is what is the condition in which you can use while loop, and what will be the condition where you can use for loop? While is better. For infinite loop, while is better. Yes, absolutely right, Abhinandan. Yes. Anything else? Anything else? Anybody knows about for and while? So again, so I would request all of you who all are here, so just keep your focus. Okay, keep your focus on this particular point, because this is the very important question that may ask you in the interview. Okay, so just try to see on the screen what people are saying, and at the end I'm here to tell you exact difference. Sorry, Samruddhi, I didn't get your questions. For is more descriptive than while. Yes, absolutely. But I'm asking the scenarios. For is used for sequence. Yes, so when you know the sequence, while is also used for the sequence, but in while you don't know where when sequence is going to end. Like we know we were printing numbers in for and while both, so it is a sequence 1 to 100, right? So but when you don't know the end output, or when you want to stop the end result, like Abhinandan rightly said, so when there is infinite or infinite loop, okay, when there is no, you don't know what is the end point, so that time you can use while loop. So while can make the code longer? No, not at all, I don't think so. So it depends on what problem you are solving. So if you don't know, if you do want to take input from user for 10,000 times, so, and you do it with for loop, so it will be really huge code. Okay, if I know how many times to use for, will be better, and if I don't know how many times to use and break it, then while is good. Okay, okay, Abhinandan, just wait, I just wanted to ask other people who are listening to this, so just tell me what you know about for and while. Okay, before that, can anybody tell me what you are seeing on the screen? I don't want to see the questions of today's game. Okay, so that's why I'm asking. PyCharm, fine, perfect, good. Yeah, for in, for I have to give from where to where to iterate. Yes, we need a lot of things to use for loop. Okay, even I forget to explain you the step, right? So I'll explain you that as well. Yes, for have explicit iterations variable. Okay, for can iterate. Yes, while also can iterate if you want to. Means it depends on the way you are using the code. Okay, tired? What about my answer? Yes, you're right, Abhinandan. That's why I told you just let other people answer the code, answer the questions, so that they will understand what is happening. Okay, so what you're seeing right now, are you able to see my presentation? So here are a few things which I just wanted to share with you. No, sorry, let me share the screen. Yeah, I guess I have shared my screen. PowerPoint presentation. Yes, it is there. So you can use for loop to iterate over an array. So in Python, it is not array, it is an iterable object. Anything, it can be a string, it can be a set, it can be a tuple, it can be a dictionary, anything. So whatever object you can iterate, there is no necessary difference except, no, there is a difference, man. If there is no difference, why they created while? There must be a difference, there must be a scenarios, and that is what I'm telling you right now. And so you can use for when you know the number of iterations, when you know where to stop, as Abhinandan and some other people told us. So when you know where you have to end, so that time you must go with for loop when you know the endpoint. But when you don't know, see the next example. So if you want to read a file line by line, so today the file will be different. Tomorrow my code will be opening another file and it will read. Okay, so we are not sure how many lines will be there. Okay, so can you do it with for? No, you can't. Okay, so inside that for loop there will be the statement to find vowels in that line. Okay, so if you are using for loop and you are reading the file, so you'll in order to use for loop, you need to give an endpoint, right? So if you don't have an endpoint, you can't use for loop. So if you give endpoint like 100, but if file doesn't have 100 lines, so it will break. Or if file have 200 lines, then also it will of no use. Okay, so that's the difference I was talking about. While can be used for infinite loops. Yes, you can use it for infinite loop, but more proper definition is when you know the end point and when you don't know where to stop. So when you don't know the last number. Okay, so it can be used for reading file line by line, and then while loop is where while loop can be used for asking user input. Yes, I told you, right? So if you want to ask you, see, we did some example. We built our bot, right? So we built our security bot who were asking continuously, tell me your name, tell me your name. So that is not possible with for loop. Can you do it? So can you do it with for loop? So if anybody can, so just I would like to just check, and I would like to see that security bot with this particular loop. Okay, we can't build it actually. So if you build it, it will not be functional, fully functional as it was working earlier. Even though you give right answers, wrong answers, it was again asking you, right? Again asking you, please, hi, I'm Doraemon, please tell me your name, right? So that's what my bot was doing yesterday. So that bot you can't build if you're using for loop. So yes, there is a difference between for and while loop. So that's why there are two different loops. And this is the difference. If you want to use ask, read a file, if you want to ask input, you can use, you have to use while loop. For is not solution for that. Okay, and use while when increment is non-standard. What do I mean by that? Yes, can anybody tell me the meaning of the last line? What use while loop when incremental number is or increment is not standard, non-standard? What do I mean by that? Yes, what people are saying, increase itself in while we have to increase after everything code written. Yes, no fixed increments. Yes, so you can increment. See, increment are non-standard. It means in for loop, it for loop will always increment the loop by one. Okay, so if because we are giving the range, okay, and range will always increment by taking the step whatever we are going to do at the next stage. So I'll tell you. So there will be some fixed number of increments, so it will always increment at certain fixed number. So that is not the case in while. In while you can do anything. So there is no limit in while. Okay, so it is not for okay. So Abhinandan Singh, in for it increase itself. Okay, for increase itself, yes, absolutely right. In while we have to increase after everything code data, yes. So in while, so we will decide either I have to increment it by 0.2, 0.4, increase it by certain another number which is not there in this thing. So you can, there are as I said, there are n number of possibilities with while, but it is not the case in for. So in for there will be fixed number of increments, you can't directly multiply. Okay, so in while loop you can multiply as well. Okay, so if right now if I'm executing or the number is 5, so in next iteration that number can become 10, in next iteration that number can become 15. Okay, or we can increment by even numbers or odd numbers, or we can increment by prime numbers. Okay, so I'm damn sure in for you can't increment the series by prime numbers. Okay, because prime number has its own logic, but that can be implemented in while loop. So your today's task, since I got to that point and since we covered for loop as well as while loop, I want all of you to write the code of or try how you can find prime numbers. So take this point in your notebook and this is your task. So what you have to do is you have to write a code to find or print all the prime numbers in a given range. Okay, so this is really cool, I guess. Okay, so you guys are going to enjoy this thing. Fine. Okay, so there is one, so this is all about for loop. So I will just quickly show you the increment which I was talking about. Okay. Yeah. So suppose if I'm again going into this for loop, or let me create a new, new file. Suppose I'm just talking, telling it a step. Suppose I wanted to print for I in range of 1 to 100. Okay, 101. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print that I. But if I wanted to print numbers in some different way, okay, so I give comma, right? Okay, so if I print it, if I run this program, I'm getting all numbers. So, but if I wanted to print the numbers, only odd numbers, suppose, or only even numbers. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give a space. I'm going to give a step that after 2, it will print. Okay, so this will only print all odd numbers. Okay, so it will print all odd numbers without anything. So suppose if you want to print all, suppose 5 is stable. Okay, so say I'm going to take it as 5, start point will be 5, and it will increment the next thing by 5. Okay, so if I run it like this, so see, it has printed my 5 table, but I need to limit myself to 51, then only it will limit to 5. Okay, I'm just running the code. Yeah, so here we go, I just got my 5 table. So that's what the use of this increment, this step operation or step parameter of this for range. Okay, so the first thing is start point, where you want to start. So 5 is, since I gave 5, it started with 5. Then second is where you want to stop, so that is stopping point. And third is where, how much or do you want to skip by how many numbers or how many points. Okay, so this is the step which you can use to print after certain time. But if you want to print or if you want to add prime numbers into our existing number, so you can't do using this step. Okay, so for that, so this is specific increase. The increment is specific, it will increment by 5, 10 and 25, 51. But if you want to increase, suppose this, the first number will be 0, second will be 1, then 2, then 5, then 7, then 11, 17, 13, 17, like that. So that you can't print, that you can't follow, and that you can't do with for loop. So that's why you need to use while loop.